Hello, beautifuls. Welcome to Self-Love Talks on, 3rd of February already. So sending love to all of you, wherever you are. Let me know when you guys arrive, where you're from. And tonight I want to talk about mastering your empathy. And I really notice that more than ever, I think more than ever before, all of you people who are healers, carers, therapists, helpers, spiritual helpers of some kind, coaches, those of you who have this almost unstoppable desire or drive to put more goodness, more love, more healing, more peace, more well-being, more success out there, or abundance for people out in the world. Most of you, if not every single one of you, is an empath. And the problem is that many people are experiencing is that they don't know what an empath is, or they don't understand how to master the ability that you guys have. And it can run you, and you can become completely overwhelmed. You can have something I heard fairly recently, compassion fatigue, or what could also be called like empathy overload, or emotional burnout from feeling everything so intensely, feeling not only the people around you, your loved ones, your family, and taking on their emotions, and not just their emotions, but their belief systems, their traumas, their pain, their suffering, all the stuff which you feel enormous compassion for and want to do something about. But then the people in your community, and for some of you, your empathy, your compassion extends to the whole world. It's as if you are carrying the pain and the trauma and feeling the pain of the trauma of everyone in the whole world. Now, some of you will recognize that you have, that you feel like a sense of responsibility. And that can be really empowering because you have that power to help, and you have a great light, you have a great tool bag or great skills or great desire to help others. And so you recognize that as, okay, maybe I have some empathic ability, maybe I do feel others. And most of you will be feeling that gift, if you like, that extra sensitivity more powerfully these days, because it's just getting stronger and stronger. All of our gifts are really coming online more intensely. And then, hi guys, thanks for joining. Welcome. Just pop in here. I'm interested tonight. I'm really talking to empaths, people that know that they're an empath, people that don't know, particularly the healers, the coaches, the carers, the well-being coaches, the helpful spiritual people of you out there. So just let me know if that's you and what it is that you do. And so there are those of you that are just, tapping in and beginning to recognize that you have an empathic ability. And then there are those of you who have realized that you're empathic and that you're picking up on other people. And maybe you're enjoying that, maybe you're not. But your energy field, or let's call it your emotional load, is becoming really heavy, that you're feeling into so many people, that it's a lot to carry, it's a lot to process. And those of you that do a lot of your own work, your inner work, your healing, your processing, it's almost like it just never ends and it's just constant. And there are those of you who are so empathic, maybe you realize and maybe you don't, that you're actually like a sponge and you're feeling every single thing that is going on, and particularly the pain and the trauma and the suffering. So what do you do about that? So I'm here to share with you because I myself have been on this journey. I've even made previous videos about this. And it's something that used to completely overwhelm me, and I had no idea. And back in those days, like, nobody talked about empathy and being empathic. When I was in my early 20s, I didn't even know it was a thing. And I was so empathic that I literally could feel everybody else, but I couldn't feel me. And I was out there trying to to do good things, but I was so weakened by what I was feeling from everybody else, not realizing it, felt so kind of attacked by it almost, that I was really ineffective. I wasn't able to maintain my own well-being. I became super ill and was very unhappy. And it was a revelation to realize as well, when somebody told me in my mid-30s, early to mid-30s, this person recognized what I was doing. And she said to me, Tara, just because you can feel everything doesn't mean it's your fault. And it doesn't mean that it's your job to then go out and fix it for everybody. That was a massive turning point, having that realization. And I think from that moment on, everything in my life started to change. That was a catalyst of change that was already happening. But what happened was then I spent the next 10, 15, 20 years mastering my empathic ability so that I could still feel everything. But I have a dial that says on and off, or a little bit or a lot. And I can completely control not my ability to feel it, but my ability to stay in my own body and stay so present with myself that I feel it, but I don't take it on. It doesn't kind of soak into my sponge, if you like. It's just there, and I can acknowledge it, and I can support, and I can have empathy and compassion, but it doesn't drain me. I never feel drained by it. It doesn't impact me. And especially those of you that have other extrasensory abilities as well. Maybe you realize this and maybe you don't. Maybe some of you are really psychic. Maybe some of you see things or feel things or hear things. Maybe you feel like you have a message and you're a channel, or you're a medium, or you connect with spirits, or you can feel other spirits wanting to come through you for their healing. Because when there's one strong extrasensory ability, there tends to be a whole bunch of others, right? So I'm just going to share with you some helpful information about how you can master your empathy. And it's inspired today. I had a few clients today. In fact, all three of them, no, let me speak about two. There was two of my clients today that was super empathic. And so I found myself sharing this individual message for them. And I feel like it's a really good idea to share it to all of you guys, because I really think this is going to resonate with so many of you. So what happens is, what I talked about, that kind of adrenal fatigue or that compassion burnout, that empathy overload, what happens when you're feeling all these things from other people is that you can't, well, number one, feel really what's going on with you. It's like you feel everything else, but you don't feel yourself. And there's a big disconnect there. And if you think of this analogy where, let's say you own a house, and it's a tall, one of those tall houses with many floors. And you, as an empath, have had your house of your being, your body, this existence, filled up with other people's thoughts, feelings, trauma, baggage, their stuff that gets dumped on you. You're the person that they come to and either offload on or dump on or blame or even attack. Because you're open and vulnerable to it, you're susceptible to it, you've become almost like the go-to dumping ground for people, and they'll be drawn to you like moths to a flame because of your love and your tolerance and your compassion and your empathy. But you will be living somewhere up here on the roof of that house, or in the attic of that house, or very much so on the upper floors, trying to get away from all of the stuff that you've picked up from your parents as a newborn baby, or even from the womb, things that you've picked up in your childhood from people around you, and of course through your teens and into your early adulthood. And you will be continuing to do this because you don't know otherwise. And it's as if your house just gets full up with all this other stuff that isn't actually yours, but it has become yours and it feels like yours because it's in your house. And to get away from it, you the breath shallows, you get tightness in areas of your body, everything starts to feel constricted, like there's not enough space for you in your own life. You're going to feel unseen. You're going to feel unheard. Highly likely that you're not going to feel like people really connect to you and really empathize with you and understand who you truly are underneath all of this. Because what most people are relating to is not you, because you've been squashed out of your own being, out of your own body. Very little room for your spirit to incarnate and fully establish itself, yourself in this life, in this body, in this world. And so you've moved up to kind of protect yourself. You may have put on armor, you may have put up guards, you may use various tools, techniques, behaviors, all kinds of things to try and protect yourself. But it's like it just keeps on coming. And it will build up to the point where people just attack you. And you don't even know why, because you're a good person. But what's happening is those people are no longer really seeing you, or they never saw you in the first place. Because since day dot, you've been absorbing other people's stuff. So what they're relating to is this kind of baggage, this mishmash of stuff, the pain, suffering, trauma, all kinds of stuff, belief systems, all kinds of stuff that you have inadvertently, subconsciously, or even consciously taken responsibility for and said, you know what? These people around me in my life that I've grown up around, and much as I may love them, I have been let down. They have not taken responsibility for their own feelings or not been able to handle them responsibly and heal themselves. And so your way of coping with that as a small child would be, well, you did this anyway, whether you wanted to or not. As children, you are that sponge that absorbs what's in your environment. But you start to do it then as a way of, if I help shoulder the burden, if I can almost relieve my parents or these people that I love, all I can do to help is feel it with them or kind of take it from them, because they're just not taking responsibility. They're just leaving it unsaid, unspoken, unacknowledged, undealt with. And it's like all this stuff that lies around in the invisible world that you just soak up and go, well, somebody's got to do it. And there's probably something very strong in your soul that's called you to say, I'm here to do something to help. Right? This is the drive. And so it feels like this is what you're doing to help subconsciously. And then at some point in your adult life, perhaps consciously. So how does this feel for you? This manifests as illness, because if you in your spirit are not inhabiting your own home, your body, your house, and it's full of other people's stuff that is pain, that pain will eventually turn into a physical pain and a physical ailment, because your poor body and all your organs and your endocrine system and your immune system and everything in you is trying to cope with this overload of feelings and an overload of responsibility that you have taken on. That has a very detrimental impact on you in your life. And only you can really notice this right now and really feel where my words are landing for you, or where they're kind of, hitting in the area of something that only you really know about deep inside of you, where this is kind of resonating for you. Only you really know that. And because you're so full of everybody else's stuff, because of your care, your compassion, you're wanting to help, you're saying, okay, I'm the responsible one. Who grew up feeling like I've got to be the responsible one around here? I've got to be the grown up right now. You might be 8, you might be 10, you might be 12, but or even younger, feeling like I've got to be the grown up because I don't know what the heck is going on around here. I need to make it make sense. I need to somehow do something. I need to make things better. I need to heal my parents' marriage or help them. Or I need to, help my brothers and sisters because they can't, because there's something wrong. Or something like that, where you just feel like you've got to take it on. And what happens is, because you're so full of feeling everybody else, that you can't actually feel you. Like, where have you gone? Have you seen you? Have you heard you? Have you connected to your real true self that is free and clear of all these other people's stuff? And I'm guessing probably not, because most people don't. Even those of you out there that are doing the good work, doing the healing, doing the processing and all of the good stuff, and doing the forgiveness and all of that good stuff, I'm still seeing so many people, excuse me, so so many people, like, because you're not connecting to your true self, you're not able to connect with you because you're busy managing all of this stuff, managing either your physical symptoms or the emotional processing, or managing other people out there, trying to make things better, working with people, doing what you do, trying to do the good work, trying to shine your light, trying to do your thing, that actually you are getting left out of that healing. You are getting left out in the cold, kind of squeezed out of your own life. And a lot of this work that people are doing, and I'm not saying all of it, and the ones that I've seen for sure, and there are many, who are doing the good work, but it's not actually hitting the spot. The pain and the symptoms are still there in the body. The hormones are all over the place, or it's, really hard to think straight, or digestion is all over the place, or the immune system is compromised. And it's a lot of work and it's a lot of maintenance to try and keep yourself together and held together. And what needs to happen here, my friends, is that your focus, instead of going out there on helping everyone else, you need to press pause on that and just take stock and turn your attention back towards yourself. And a lot of you I know are like, well, I don't know how to do that. Your energy has been so focused on giving out to others and trying to help and manage and cope and heal and all that good stuff, that actually it's like, how do I come back to me? How do I connect with myself? How do I clean out of all of my systems in my body, my emotional, my physical, my spiritual system, my mental systems? How do I clean out all that junk of other people's? How do I even know what's mine and what's theirs? I can tell you what's truly yours will not go. It's a bit like walking into a room that is absolutely covered, and people have partied and people have come to stay and people have broken in and squatted and people have dumped their stuff in the room, and it hasn't been cleaned for years and years and years and years and years. Maybe this room even belonged to your mother and your father, and they lived in it, and there was parties and there was things happening and dramas and all kinds of life, birth, death stuff happening in that room, and they never cleaned it either. And then they will have inherited it from their parents as well. And in that same room, in that same space, they had all the people, they had all the drama, they had all the stuff going on, and that never got cleaned. So you have layers and layers and layers, and I'll come back to you in a second there, Sonia, layers and layers of this dirt and this buildup over generations and generations, because this stuff gets transferred from one generation to the next. And here you are, inheriting this room full of stuff. You were born into it and it just looks like that. You don't know what it originally looked like. You don't know who you are in that space because you can't relate to it. It's just full of stuff that you're going, it's a bit like you arrive in this world and you go, what the heck is this? This is not what I remember, or this is not what I was expecting, or surely this is not what I signed up for. Not being able to recognize the people in your life a lot of the time, not for everybody, but able to recognize the people in your life as kind of connected to you. Like, where did I come from? Where do I fit in? Where do I belong in this crazy place that's full of all this other stuff? And what happens is, what needs to happen is that because you inherit this body, this room, this house, made up from your ancestors, right? You're created generation after generation after generation from your ancestors in the physical, in the matter, and in the emotional, and in the spiritual, and in the mental. All of these are inherited. So you inherit this, and then your little spirit tries to come in and dwell in this space, and you go, I don't recognize this. I'm out of here, right? And you just try and do the best you can with the situation you've got. What needs to happen is you make that decision and go, hold on a minute, I need to press pause and I need to come in here and find out actually what in this space is truly mine. What truly is the gifts that I've been left from my ancestors that I can inherit and make use of and expand and grow and develop and clean out all the other stuff. Because your natural ability, you needed to hear this, Bella. Thank you. This is why I'm here. I knew somebody needed to hear this, right? Your natural gifts, your natural essence, your natural abilities that are inherent to your soul that you know or vaguely remember perhaps is somewhere inside of you, or you're longing for these gifts and you think that you have to go out there and find them. They're hidden underneath all that junk. And so you need to come in and clean. And it's hard work. I know it's hard work. I've been doing this a long time, and I really understand. It can feel like, oh my God, it's hard enough just to go in and tidy your bedroom after a week of not tidying it, if you're as messy as I am sometimes, or as I was as a child, let alone coming in and cleaning up all this stuff. And that's why you need the right tools. You need the right cleaning tools that will actually do the job of cleaning. You want stuff that isn't going to hurt you, that isn't going to poison you, that isn't going to leave a residue of something else that's also not you, right? You don't want to bring in any more toxicity. You want cleaning tools that are actually going to work for you, and you want support, you want guidance, you want help, so you're not doing it on your own, because that sucks. All of that burden and responsibility is already too much for you to carry. You've already been doing it on your own for so long. And it sucks, doesn't it? Right? It's horrible. It's not a nice job. And I really know. I know because I've been there and I've done it. And I also know because I've helped thousands and thousands of other people with this. And I see it all over the place. I see you guys everywhere, maybe not like with my eyes because I don't see you physically, but I see spiritually. I see people on the plane. I see people through a different lens. In that reality of going, you're like a bud that just wants to open. And it's like, oh, where is my purpose? I'm more than this. I'm more than this. And you are more than that. But your bud cannot blossom. And I'm talking about you guys as well as you girls, you males and females and masculines and feminines, all of us. We're all like these little underdeveloped beings that got stuck somewhere in our childhood or in our teenage years through this trauma. And then that little person is still running the show now, is operating your grown-up you. Because it was like, oh, that part of you just went, I'm going to leave. And that inner child of you, that inner young being of you took over and took control. And it's like at some point that growth got stunted because you weren't in an environment that was conducive to you opening and blossoming and becoming the most magnificent you, not version of you, actual you. I don't believe in the version shit. Sorry, I don't. I'm not saying sorry about what I just said. I'm saying sorry for using the S word, but you guys know me. I say these things. There's much more to you, and you need the right environment. And if you're an empath and you're in this environment where you've taken on everybody else's stuff, of course you can't grow because you're too busy dealing with and processing and managing and coping and overloaded and probably getting burnout and fatigue from all the caring and all the empathy that you're doing. And of course you haven't got any nourishment left in your roots for your rose of yourself to blossom and to open, and for your gifts to emerge, for your beauty to emerge, for your power, your strength, and everything that's inside of you to really have, its day, your day. So this cleaning is really important, super important. And we can make light work of it. I'll say that again. We can make light work of the heavy shit. You've probably heard me say that before. It doesn't have to be heavy. You can be a bit like, who's seen Mary Poppins when she comes in and she tidies up the children's room and she's like, right, that there, because she's got the know-how. She knows how to put things back into their proper order. And I know how you can put things back into your divine order for yourself, calibrated with your human and divine self completely together, your heart and your soul completely together, your body and your spirit completely together, your mind and your heart completely together, so that all of your systems are operating, you're in a conducive environment, and you're free of all that other stuff. And you have space for you to grow. Finally, you have space for you to grow. And it means feeling you. And it's super hard. I understand. I couldn't feel a thing. I was numb. I could not feel me. I had no idea what I was feeling. And I had a real issue trying to communicate something about how I felt because I didn't know how I was feeling. And also, I didn't feel confident about communicating what I felt like I was feeling, because you kind of still always know what you're feeling. You're just disconnected from it. There's a disassociation there. And then communicating that and talking about it, really hard. I found that super hard. I had throat issues for such a long time, right? So, and Sonia, you're saying, and this has a ripple effect to the children and stops the perpetual cycles. Absolutely. All right. I love your comments, guys. Thank you for that. And if you are a healer, a carer, a coach of some kind that's out there doing the work or helping people, a spiritual help, or whatever you feel what I'm talking about, please let me know. Put it in the chat. Tell me what it is that you do. And if you recognize, because even like the psychologists and the psychiatrists and the people who have had really, institutional learning and training, and it's all about the mind and the psychology, these people, you guys, you have these empathic gifts. And there's something more to come out here of you. And it's like you need the right tools for the job, right? There are lots of good tools in this world, and there are lots of tools for lots of different things. And I can offer you the tools because I was offered them. And somehow I kind of just put it together. Years of practice, years and years of practice. That's how you get to master something, usually, is by years of practice. But because it's like, if you want to have the shortcut to something, what do? You want to struggle and try on your own for 20 years like I did? You can have the shortcut. You just hang out with somebody who's mastered the thing that you need, and be open. Be open to receiving, be open to being guided. And it's humbling, I understand, especially when you feel like you've collected a whole bunch of tools and systems and modalities and ways and thoughts and beliefs and things, coping mechanisms and systems that you've developed and created to help you cope with that, or to try and navigate yourself through life as best you can, and doing a freaking fantastic job, I have to say. You're still here, you're winning, you've helped so much. But you have to take stock on the effect and the cost that it's having to you. And I can give you the tools that allow you to clean up your emotional, empathic environment, clean up your energy field, clean up your house of everyone else's stuff in the most beautiful way. And it's very beautiful and it's very simple. And then what happens? It's like emptying the glass, right? If your glass is full of everyone else's stuff, or stuff you don't like that you're having to just deal with, how much space is left for you? And what needs to happen is you tip it out and you can then be filled up with you. There's space then for you to be filled up. And sometimes it's hard for us to humble and go, oh my goodness, that wasn't working. And I have to admit to myself that wasn't really working. Or I thought that was helping, but actually, if I really look at it and I'm really honest, it's not. Or, oh, I can keep going. Actually, I can't. I'm burnt out. I'm exhausted. Oh my goodness, that's humbling, my friends. But humility is beautiful because it allows you the opportunity to open and receive something else. And if you guys are ready for something else, because you get to the point where there's only so much you can handle. And especially with what's going on in the world right now is super intense. There's more, probably more, I'm guessing, because there's more people, it's amplified. I'm not guessing, I'm sharing from my experience. There's more people on the world in more pain and more suffering than ever before. It is enormous. So for us empaths, that can be completely debilitating. You might be like, oh, I don't know how to get out of bed in the morning, or I'm having to drink loads of coffee or take lots of supplements or something just to keep going, or hide away from people or whatever it is, or keep, motivating. Come on, I can do it. And that's, you've got to take stock of the time when you're going to go, okay, give me another way. Give me a way that makes light work of this. And it really is now to kind of go, okay, everyone else, they can have a break. It doesn't mean you stop caring. In fact, you're going to care more. You have the ability to care more, but with less cost and expense to yourself. Right? Does that sound like a good idea? Are you up for that? So it is about turning your senses inside. Not out there feeling everybody, but feeling you. Plugging in. There's very simple ways and means that I can show you and teach you of how to do that. And then the tools, the cleaning tools, to clean out all the pain, the hurt, the trauma, the suffering, the illness, the exhaustion, the aloneness, the grief, the guilt, the shame, all of that stuff that's got dumped on you, and to clean it out. And what you're left with, it's very effective. It's one of those things. Somebody asked me in a training, they said, Tara, is there a shortcut? Like, can I literally just wave a magic wand and bang, it's clean? And I'm going to tell you, if I knew of a shorter shortcut, I would tell you. And I've been around in this healing world, in this healing field, almost my entire life, since I was a little girl. And I've seen a lot of things, a lot of teachers, a lot of gurus, a lot of ways, a lot of means. And if I knew of a shorter shortcut, I would be telling you about it. But you cannot shortcut your conscious awakening. There's the conscious awakening that people are talking about of what's going on in the world and seeing what's been hidden under the surface and what's been hidden under the shadows and hidden under the lid, hidden under false laws and all that kind of stuff. But there's a greater awakening happening, and that awakening is your eyes seeing you, your senses sensing you, your ability to feel feeling you, your ears and your ability to listen to you. That's the direct line. That is the shortcut. And that is your own revelation, your conscious awakening of yourself and of the source that you are, and of all the programming, all the conditioning, all of the stuff that you've taken on. And that's where our eyes really need to be right now, and not really out there, but in here, noticing what you've taken on, noticing the impact and the toll it's taken on you over lifetimes, my friends. And here you are holding all of that, lifetimes worth of stuff, you old souls who are here to make a difference and heal what's going on. The biggest healing that you can do is for yourself right now. But it needn't be alone, and it's actually much better when we're connected in a community and we're doing it together. And there's a solidarity, and there's a unity in that, and there's an empathy and a compassion for one another in that, and an empathy and compassion that comes back to us when we put ourselves in the conducive, right environment for your opening, for your flowering, for your highest potential of your being to be revealed to you. Can't show somebody else until you've first seen it, really heard it, felt it, listened to it, got to know it, deeply connected with your you. And that's like putting the sunshine on your flower bed. That's like pouring the water on your soil. That's like nurturing the soil and your roots so that you're stable, you're secure, you belong, you're home, You're in yourself and you're in the right environment. You're creating the right internal environment for yourself to flourish. And as you do, you start to balance your left and right hemispheres of your mind. You start to balance the masculine and the feminine of you. You start to calibrate, recalibrate, reintegrate your inner child and your grown-up self and all those layers in between. You start to merge your divine and your human. You start to embody your genius. You don't have to go out there to get your genius or go searching for your genius. Your genius is something that you are a receptor of. And you take it in and you exude it, you express it, you emote it in some way, in your way. Is this making sense? So what do you do? And as you all know, if you don't know already, I'm going to show you again. This is what you need. I love you, me. And the reason, well, I'm telling you about this because it's, I mean, my goodness, I just went home to the UK for 5 days. I live in the south of France, and I went home for 5 days to see my friends and family, and it was my birthday. And I was like, I really need to be around my friends and my family, people that know me, because there's not many people around here. I don't know hardly anybody, and I don't really go out very much. And it was so nourishing to be with people that I can communicate myself with fully expressed, and I'm received fully expressed, and they communicate to me fully expressed, and I receive them fully expressed, and there's no barriers, and it's just so easy and it's so wonderful. And in that environment, there's so much grace, there's so much magic and potential that can open. The manifestation when people come together and share from that very deep, authentic, real, uninhibited, fully expressed place, it's incredible. And whilst I'm there, I'm kind of just noticing how many people are just really desperate for that. It's like, I want to be me, but I don't know who I am. I want to feel myself and I want to go out and make a difference, but I'm managing all this stuff and it's too much. So, and as I said, my clients today, I was like so inspired from them to create this video. So thank you guys if you're watching this. And also because I have a training coming up. I've recalibrated a training that I first started teaching back in 2008. I first started teaching people how to do I Love You Me method, and it wasn't called that in those days, with people on a professional level, as a therapist, as a coach, as a facilitator. And this training, and I've had breaks from it because I just, kind of couldn't handle my own abilities sometimes as well, and just needed to take a break and do something else. But over the years, this program has been developed and developed. And it got relaunched again in 2017, and it got relaunched again because I was doing it all live. It got relaunched again in 2020 as the first online one, but it was using some old videos from the real life trainings, just, hashed up. They weren't hashed up. They were really cool videos. But what I've done is I've taken all these years of my teaching expertise and knowledge of this method and taken it and condensed it from 12 months to 12 weeks. And it is being accredited, professionally accredited, recognized CPD and CE points for this training. And it's really concise and it's really awesome. And I'm taking small groups of only 12 people at a time through this training. And actually, me personally, I'm delivering it virtually through the trainings and all online, but you also get my incredible, I call her my prodigy. She's absolutely beautiful, Yasmin, and she will be mentoring people live on coaching calls every week to go through this. So I'm inviting you guys who are healers and therapists and coaches and carers and spiritual helpers, those of you that are going, I've got all this to give and I know I'm here to help, but actually you recognize that it starts with you. that this vessel of you needs your attention, needs your love, your care, your cleaning. You need these cleaning tools, these incredible master key, master cleaning tools. I didn't invent them. They are there, they exist, and I help sculpt them and put them together in a way that is incredibly user-friendly for you, for yourself, and within the community of others doing the same thing with themselves, so that you have people you can really talk to and really open with, and you are safe and held and loved and appreciated and seen. And then you will, through this 12-week course, you will learn how to facilitate the same method, the same incredible transformation in somebody else's life with your existing clients, your existing practice, your existing coaching customers, or even if you're brand new and you just go, I'm called to put more love, more healing, more peace, more well-being, more thriving in this world and clean up this dark stuff, clean up this programming, the conditioning, the layers and layers and layers and layers of ancestral stuff, pain, trauma, unhealed stuff that's been built up over such a long time. And I know when I see somebody who recognizes this, right? And you, if you're resonating with this, you know that this is you. You know you have a calling to do something, but not at your expense, not as a sacrificial lamb, not as a martyr, not so that you suffer and get exhausted and you burn out. I watched my parents do that in the healing center I grew up in. Helped so many people. It was almost like Sod's Law. It's the irony, the painful, bitter irony that they ended up so ill because of all the people that they helped. Not because of the people, but because they burnt out. And they didn't know how to actually keep their own energy, feel clear, keep their own system strong and healthy, not take on everybody else's stuff as a healer. And they didn't know how to do that. And I've seen so much of that. So you know if you have the calling, and probably, you know, maybe like me, you're like, oh, but I don't want to, you know, it's too much taking on everyone's stuff. Then this is the right path for you. I feel like this is an invitation for you to come join me. And you don't even have to make a decision yet because there's still time. And I'm going to invite you down in the box below, in the description box, you'll see it's called Transformational Self-Love Therapy, and it's a training. So a couple of ones down. First, you've got Self-Love Club. So if you're not interested in helping other people, it's okay, or you're not ready. It doesn't matter. It's not like you're less good than everybody else. Not at all. You've just got a different path, and I totally honor that. But what you can do is go into Self-Love Club, and it's the first link below, and just go and make use of all the tools, because I've put everything there for free. I'm not even charging people to use it because it just needs to be used. It's like when you've got the best tools or the most amazing tools, I want those tools to be used personally because I know that they work, and I'm just love when people, you know, fall in love with themselves enough, so much that they clear up all their own history, yucky stuff, and transform and become their most amazing self. I love that personally. It gives me great joy knowing that people are making use of those tools, and they're not just stuck in my back cupboard somewhere for just a handful of people who can afford it, right? So go to Self-Love Club. And then there's the book link, and then, which is super good as well. So all of you guys need to read my book. But really what I'm focusing your attention on today is the Transformational Self-Love Therapy training. For those of you that feel a calling, and maybe you don't even know, maybe you can't even imagine yourself out there in the world using this. Maybe that term self-love doesn't quite sit right with you, but you got a feeling. It's like, I know I've got to do something for me. I know I've got to have an easier way. I know I've actually got something inside of me that needs to be seen and heard and held and met in a way that it hasn't yet, in a way that nothing else has yet reached. Maybe you got pain in your body and you're just going, I know I need to heal this. I can't keep giving. I got to stop. I can invite you to go check it out. Go click that link. And there's two paths. There's a path. It's going to be changed soon, actually. Got a different system kind of coming out that's be even easier than this one. But there's two paths. So there's a path for those of you that are already trained. You're already doing therapy, you're already practicing, you already have clients, or you already are a coach or a healer and you're qualified in something, or you're a medical professional, you're a nurse, you're a midwife. Actually, quite a lot of people come through my doors that do that. I had one beautiful woman, she's a radiotherapist, and she wanted to do this. And there's midwives that have done this. So maybe you're a medical professional and you go, something else. Actually, I also trained a guy a long time ago, beautiful, beautiful soul, who I call my brother. He worked in a hospice and he used this method in the bedside with people in the hospice. It's really, really beautiful. Maybe you're a doula, maybe you're a death midwife. It could be all manner of things that you're trained in. This is the road for you on the professional, where it says professionally trained people. But if you're just a caring, empathic person and you want to develop your intuitive abilities, you want to master your empathy, right? Everybody that comes through this training deepens their connection to themselves, and their empathic abilities get cleaned up, and then they get super intensified. All your latent intuitive abilities and others start to come online, because it opens you up. Your rosebud of you starts really opening up, and it's just a natural side effect of doing this training. It's just what happens when you become clean and unburdened. You naturally start expanding like a rose in the sun. It's so beautiful. So all of those gifts come online. And your empathy, you begin to embody yourself and empathize with yourself. And then you're mastering your ability to empathize with others without it having a detrimental effect to you. So if you're just one of, not just, but if you're one of those people who maybe you're not trained in anything, maybe you don't want to be particularly trained in anything, but you just want to help, and you know you have that calling, and you know you've got these abilities for a reason, and you want to do something with them and connect with other people and help their little rosebud of self open up and get rid of all their trauma in their life and clean it up, then you're going to choose the other button, which says spiritual helper, or, untrained, not yet trained professional person, right? So you can take that route. And if you come to this video later and you're going, well, there isn't two buttons, that's because I've changed it. So there'll just be one button, and you just click on that one button and you'll go to the right place. And we'll sort you out the other end, which training camp you belong in, because I'm going to put 2 different training camps for the coaching course, so that all the qualified people are in one space and the not yet qualified people are in another, because you're just going to gel better. It's going to work better for you guys. So the next training is coming up in March. It begins March 22nd. And so you want to be prepared. Like, it's this why I'm kind of sharing this with you now. You need to be prepared. There's some stuff that you need to do and you need to look at, and you need to start practicing on yourself before you jump in on this, because it's going to really help. So the sooner you jump in and start practicing on yourself, the better. You're going to be better equipped as you go into the training. Okay, so you can just click that link below and it will take you to the website, and then you can choose your path and see which one, is either your professional or not yet professional in the terms of therapy and healing. And we all end up in the same place, don't worry. It's all good. Everybody gets the same experience going through. It's just tailored, tweaked for each one of those groups. And you still get the same quality, you still get the same accreditations at the end of the day. And see, I have this vision, and I wonder if you share this vision with me. And maybe let's just take a deep breath together and close our eyes and feel this. Because we know that we are amidst great transformation on this planet at this time. We have different ideas about what that is and why that is and what that looks like and where we're going. But I feel like we can all agree that something big is happening. Big changes are happening. And where would you feel most secure in all this change and transformation? Where do you need to anchor yourself and put down very strong, firm roots? You're right, it's inside you. You are the strongest, safest, most secure place to be, in you. And just feel that. What would it be like to really nurture your roots so that you grow stronger and you emerge as your whole, complete, amazing self. And what would happen if, as you do that, and you're expanding, and as you become so full, you naturally begin to overflow. And what you are full of, which is love, peace, harmony, happiness, joy, deep understanding, deep compassion and empathy, light, that begins to overflow. It spills over the top. And it affects everyone around you. And if the people that are currently around you don't like it, they will just move away. And you will have like-minded people at your side doing something similar. You'll find that love attracts love, like attracts like. You're changing your frequency. You're attracting people that want the same thing as you do. And then you become the leader. You become the master. Because you can then, you know what serves you, so that you then know what serves others genuinely, not from a textbook, but from your own wisdom bank within, from your own experience within, from your own story within you. That is your manual right there. Your own spirit, your own genius can come out, and you will be sharing that. You'll become a master at that and sharing it with other people and helping them light up, helping their rosebuds open. And what kind of world would we live in where there are more people like you helpers and healers, and there's lots of helpers and healers these days, but most of you are struggling and suffering, right? But you're so important, you're needed. So your cup needs to be filled with you, not all this other stuff. And you become strong, you become the master. And then think how many people, your light, your energy, your method, your teaching, because you take on the I love you me method, it becomes yours. It's not like, oh, I'm just doing Tara's method. You own it, you work with it, you integrate it, it becomes you, you become it. It's beautiful and it's yours. And then you go out there and you are sharing this. And you might want to just touch people on a one-on-one basis. You might have a bigger dream and want to actually speak to groups of people, many people. Maybe you want groups of 5 or 6. Maybe you want to do bigger retreats of 10 or 20. Maybe you want to speak to hundreds. Maybe you want to speak to thousands. Maybe you want to reach thousands and thousands of people. Maybe even millions. Right? How big? How big is your dream? And the more of us that there are, us empaths, who are clear, clean in our mastery, the more we can make an impact for the greater good of first ourselves and our loved ones, and then everybody else. We need to be strong. We need to have our cups full of our love, ourselves. So I wonder if you share that dream with me. It's not really a dream, it's a vision. This is actually a vision that I personally am absolutely devoted to and dedicated to happening, because I feel the need for it. I see the need for it. And so here's that water that will nourish the roots. Here's that cleaning tool that will help that transformation. And when I pass those gifts to you, and then you use them and you make them yours, and then you can help share them with others, together we're working together with love, with light work, coming from full cups, making an even greater impact in this rapidly changing world that desperately needs more harmony, more peace, less war with each other and less war with ourselves. Needs more peace in every single person. So do you share that dream with me? How does that feel? Not all of you will be feeling this. Some of you, you want something else. Maybe you just need to focus on your self-love and not think about anybody else right now. That's totally cool as well. That's the best possible job you could be doing. Best possible service you could be doing to the world right now is healing you. One more vibration that is in harmony, one less vibration that's not in harmony. Makes a big difference. Really makes a big difference. So I hope that really helped. I'm going to come back to your comment in the beginning, Sonia. Oh, you're talking about a conversation with Damien. I feel Tara would be open to the conversation you're talking about with the trauma children are getting through algorithms, being online. She's well aware of dark agendas, but helping people heal their childhood trauma. And it's about healing the inner. Exactly, right, Sonia? Exactly. So yeah, if I know there are people out there who do want to help the children. I'm one of those. I'm not going to go into it now. There are other videos where I talk about my story with children and more about. In fact, if you when you sign up for the training, when you click that button to find out more about the training, you're invited to a live webinar with me. And I decided today, let me just have a quick check. I decided to do the next live masterclass webinar on February the 11th. And I'm doing it live for a whole hour, and it's actually really fun. Sonia, you were there, I think, last time. And it's a bit like a live workshop because it's everybody's interacting. It's not just me sitting there rolling off dates and prices and stuff like that. You get all of that on the webpage. But when you click the button and you sign up for that webinar, you can come join me for that masterclass on the 11th, and that'd be really awesome. And perhaps I'll tell you then a little bit more about the children, where this came from, if there's time. But there are other videos where I talk about that as well. But definitely, right, if you want to help the children on this earth, you want to help your own children, not pass on the same trauma to them, the best thing, the most responsible thing you can do is clean up your yard, as my kids would say. Clean up your own home, clean you. And then it's not transferring to the next generation. And for me, that is one of my absolute pivotal motivations for doing what I do in this world, is showing up for the children. And in order to show up for the children, I had to show up for my little me first. I had to show up for my mini me, my little Tara, and heal her before I could even begin to help my own children or to help other people's children. So it is crucial. Help the child inside of you, love the child inside of you to wholeness, to fullness. And we're all going to have an amazing world. We've got an incredible opportunity here. It's so beautiful. I know it seems really hard, but it's also on the flip side of that, because everything has a silver lining or a golden lining, as I like to say. There's always something incredible that is possible amidst the darkest times. Right? That's where the light is most needed. And you, my friends, my brothers and sisters, you are the light. Let's just get you clean so everyone can see it. Clean all the dirt and the dust off it, of the world and the trauma, and everyone can see your light. And you be a master in your own right. All right, I feel like I'm done. I hope that helped. That was a whole hour. My goodness, I was expecting it to be half that amount of time. Let's have a quick look. Mum's talking about, thanks for the chat, guys. It's really nice. See you connecting with each other. Isn't it nice when we can share? All right, so I love you, and I'll see you next time. And go click that link and just go and have a look. See if it's for you, and come join me on the live masterclass. There's no obligation. You can just come and hang out and have a good time and learn something, and make your decision from then if this is the right time for you to come join me. Okay? Wow, I love you. Love you all.